Hello and welcome back to Old Man's Garage. On this video I'm going to show you how I installed the dialed mounts access port docking station, and what I'll do is do a little follow-up on installing the access port itself. So here's a parts layout. I've circled a couple important pieces. There's some embossed arrows that have to line up during installation. This is a 3D printed device, including the adapter for the connector. So when you remove the vent, you'll notice there's no screw threads or any sort of fastening. So this thing clamps on to the material of the dashboard. And how it clamps together is there's cutouts for the nuts, and as you're screwing it down from the top, those pieces clamp together and hold on to the dash. So get a panel removing tool would be your best bet. It's nice and easy on the dash materials. Pop out the defrost vent, and then you'll see this little decorative kind of end cap here. You want to pop that out. All comes out very easy. And then you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. There's a screw toward the bottom there. Take that out, and then you'll be able to pop this piece of the dashboard out. So when you get the screw out, you can basically start just popping it out. Eventually found out that you just pop it out from the side and then it comes off loose. You don't have to worry about really messing that up. It's on there pretty nice. The connectors are very secure. So basically you just kind of have to look behind there and see if there's any interference. You don't want to cause any shorting. There's a fuse box there, but otherwise everything's in a harness. And it's all wrapped really well. Basically up to you to just not interfere with anything and cause any binding or clamping. So you'll notice on that last shot that they removed the cable, and basically wasn't happy with it coming out toward the front of the cross member that's back there. So I got my fish tape and tried to locate some path to get through the vent and then behind that cross member, and I think that would give me the cleanest and safest route for the cable going up to the mounting part on the dash. So I found a good route, and now what I'm going to do is tape the connector in a way that it won't snag as I'm coming up through the dash, and then what I'm going to do is pull it out through the top, and then I'll have my final route that I want the cable to come up through. So you start by giving a little tension on the fish tape, pull it through, and then if it's snagging, give it a little slack on the cable, and eventually if you got yourself a nice clean route, it'll come up nice and clean. And then basically you have all this extra cable, so you have to kind of clean that up. What I did is brought some zip ties and coiled up most of what I could find, and then connected the ODB port to the cable, and then you'll see that there's a lot of extra cable up top, and so basically you have to go up, did another wrap, and then secured all that kind of service loop on the cables there to that cross member that I discussed earlier, and so it was kind of a good thing that I went behind it. So now it's time to put the panel back in place, and basically you just, like any other panel, you just line up the tabs and just kind of give it a good shove, and should secure itself pretty well. Pretty impressed on the dash design. It's very stable, it's not squeaky, and it's pretty easy to work with. And the only real hardware is this one Phillips screw at the bottom. Once you get that in place, you just grab the end cap, just line up the tabs on that one as well, and just pop it in. So this is a real clean installation, nothing showing underneath. And now it's time to install the mount. So basically you route that up through the center. You see that clamping bar installed. There's a little adapter that holds the tabs in that retain the connector into the access port. You push that in through the front, you'll see some letters there and a little arrow. That'd be the front of your access port. You push that straight into the adapter, and then there's just only one way to install that into the top. You have to really force that in, but it'll go in and it'll almost feel like you're going to break it, but then it just gives it a nice final finish, like it was all molded into one piece. And now it's ready to basically be installed and detached very easily, but it also very securely and properly. So I think it's a really good design. So basically you line up that clamping bar corner to corner on the widest part, push down and then straighten it up so where it's seated into where that little defrost vent was, and then just start tightening your screws and just go a little bit on each side until it's even, and then you'll be able to tell when it's nice and secure and it kind of feels like it belongs there, and then you're good to go. Once it's installed, you'll see it was a good color match, and it really looks like a piece that you can order from the factory. And the location and angle when the access port is mounted, I think, is just perfect.
So this is how the installation goes once you have the mount on. Basically just line that up, push it down, connects every time. So this is basically what I'm seeing. Here's me driving, and you can see that that's just right in my line of sight. It's not distracting, but if I just take a quick glance, I know exactly what's going on. And then taking it out is the same. You just pull it up and out, and that's it.
Thank you guys for stopping by to Old Man's Garage, and future videos are going to include spark plug installation, air oil separator from Grimspeed, and a big SF air intake from Cobb. And I'll probably do an oil change and just have a nice clean service. And I'll show you this nice little drain plug I have. It makes doing the oil change super quick. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.